Let's see, guys. Everything Messi does always comes with an asterisk, okay? Can we say that he deserved to be sent off for this? Because if another footballer makes this kind of play, then fine. I haven't said anything. If an Algerian does this to an Argentine or to Messi himself, well, to Messi himself, come on, he would be sent straight off the field. They'd send him off. If a Bosnian does it, they'd send him off. It's an action that in my football would never be a red card because you can see it's accidental. But if someone else does it, it's a red card. That's why I always say everything Messi does has an asterisk. The fact is, because I always like to see both sides of reality, the fact that this could overshadow indeed the fact that there is unanimity regarding what Messi does. Because about the asterisk, I mean that his career has been marked by hormone treatment when he was very young by a club, his own Barca, which was paying millions to the head of refereeing. During all those years in which he won everything with Barca, etc., 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 and let's not even mention what happened in the last World Cup. That doesn't take away from the fact that, well, even tonight, the same with this, but that doesn't take away from the fact that his career is something incredible, incredible. And about tonight, that at 38 years and 350-something days, he's very close to turning 39. This guy who won the last World Cup comes in the debut match of his 6th World Cup. He scores a hat-trick with 2 goals from outside the box. When he gets the ball, you know it's going in. That's what happens with legendary players. Absolutely. And even in the second one, which is a huge mistake by Lucas Zidane, you can't clear a relatively easy ball right into the middle of the box. But there, Messi has always had that knack for being in the right place. Because from Dibu's pass, Messi receives the ball, controls it fantastically, and is very well positioned. And it ends with the guy in the box, unmarked, which many times we say, but why don't they follow him? Damn, in many cases because they can't, or because he's the smartest when it comes to positioning himself at 39 years old, man, almost 39, 38 plus 300 and so many days, thank you. He passes it into the net. I mean, even the easiest goal is like a pass with his right foot into the net. It's crazy. It's crazy. No matter how we look at it. No matter how we look at it. And look, I've said all the bad things, so nobody can tell me later that I didn't. No, all the bad things. But of course, even so, that's why I say that even Argentina, people are saying, no, Argentina, yes, Argentina, it was a joke. They lost to Arabia in their first World Cup match, but with any help needed, still ended up winning the tournament. In fact, I always said back then that even the help was decisive with those penalties. But they had it written on their foreheads, we're going to win this damn World Cup, the last one, the one in Qatar. And the worst part is that they have the same thing written on their foreheads for this one. They go with such determination, man, the people too. They even make songs for the World Cup. I mean, and the players, it's an amazing group. They're tough as nails. They have a mission. They're men on a mission. They're men on a mission. Then this guy shows up and scores a hat-trick. Unbelievable. To Miroslav Klose as the top scorer in World Cup history. With 16 goals, he's going to surpass him. Let's see the goals Mbappé scores. Let's see the goals Cristiano scores, who has a lot of responsibility because, of course, Messi reaches 16, tying close. Mbappé is also around there, and he scores 2. Haaland scores another 2. Man, Cristiano today with Portugal in a few hours has a lot of responsibility. Another incredible fact is this. Do you remember in 1990, many of you probably weren't even born yet. I had already been around for 12 years. When Roger Milla appeared and we saw him as an old man because he was 38 years old, almost 39, and we thought he was an old man almost. And in fact, Roger Milla, then he played in 94 as well, if I'm not mistaken, right? Already almost 42, maybe I'm getting that wrong. When the Cameroonians showed up at the 1990 World Cup in Italy, we wondered what this guy was doing there since footballers usually didn't last that long. Well, Messi has surpassed Roger Milla as the oldest footballer to score multiple goals, more than 1 goal, in a match at a World Cup. It's crazy. It's crazy no matter how you look at it, guys. even with all the asterisks you want to add, okay? I want to make this clear because, well, lately in the last few weeks, people have been accusing me of things that aren't true. And honestly, people can't handle even a little bit, man. I mean, either you say exactly what they want to hear, that yes, it's all a disgrace and so on and so forth. They ignore Messi's 3 goals and focus only on the red card. Sure, the red card mattered and could have been given, but what he does after is just unbelievable. Archibald Barr is saying here that it's a red card. And then there was also another situation in the Argentina match, and it's that the goal by Algeria, when it was still 0-0, the first goal of the match, and it was going to be 1-0 for Algeria. It's unbelievable. How do they choose another frame? It's unbelievable. This is the frame they choose at FIFA. There, when he still hasn't touched it, when he still hasn't touched the ball, the footballer, and they say it's just the frame they choose. They say he's offside, and he's offside by very little. But to be fair, because you know that on this channel, we always try to be fair, even with something like this. Wow, now the page isn't working for me or what? Why not? But why won't you close, man? Well, whatever. I don't know. This just won't close. Anyway, wait, I'm going to look for it around here. Well, we have to say that Argentina's goal also comes from a bad, I think, choice of frame, right? Here they draw the lines and say, watch out, Arquivo Barro says that Messi should have been sent off. At the same time, he says that Algeria's goal should have counted, and then he also says this, that it's a legal goal because Messi was onside for the first goal. I mean, Messi has scored 4 goals, man. I mean, they disallowed one, right? And this was before Algeria's goal. He just draws the lines that way. I believe Nacho Tejado y Tellado does this, and I trust him. I trust Arquivo Barro less in general, but when they draw the lines, when Nacho does it, I trust him. I trust him a little more. Well, that's it. But yeah, of course, then they mess up a lot of things, right? Because you say, sorry, oh, I wasn't sharing this, guys. One moment, sorry, I wasn't sharing it. It's here, it's here. I don't think I want to replay the video now. This is where the lines Nacho Tejado drew for Messi's goal are in the first one. Sorry about earlier. Well, I'm saying that there are, and he wasn't offside. I'm saying there are moments that, well, you know, are things where you could hold back a little. When Messi nearly scores the 3rd goal before actually doing it, he gets another chance to do it earlier. Meanwhile, Infantino's having a great time, right? Hold back a little, man, given what we've just been through, right? Given what we've just been through. Hey, by the way, one thing. On Telemundo, I was watching the match on Telemundo, and it turns out there was Andres Cantor, who's a great Argentine commentator, a legendary one, and he was commenting on the match. He was the play-by-play announcer. And the match was being commented on by a Mexican guy. I don't remember his name. And then the Mexican off script, I mean, this guy is not going to comment on Argentina's matches again. Dice, he says, hey, we should review Messi's play because for me, it could have easily been a red card and all that, even though it had already happened. He says it the first time Andres Cantor, who's Argentina, stays quiet. He repeats it 2 or 3 minutes later. And then Andres Cantor tells him, well, in theory, that's already been reviewed, right? I thought, wow, this guy is risking his job because, well, we already know that anyway. Why should I even tell you, right? Because what has happened in Spain all our lives, well, it also happens here. It also happens here. Well, and it happens all over the world. In the end, Messi has always also been, and here's the biggest asterisk, someone the media has always protected. There's something that really made me laugh, and that's the thing about Mekleli. A star is born, man. Beyond the player he was, who was an amazing footballer, a star is born. I mean, Mekalele, commentating matches with Dazen in Spain. I hadn't seen it. I hadn't heard it. But look, because, well, he absolutely tears into Mbappé. Mbappé scored 2 goals, while Anderson Rubia noted that in the first few minutes he touched I don't know how many balls and lost I don't know how many others. And, well, this only happens with Mbappé, who is a guy that sometimes drives you crazy because of that, right? Because it seems like he's not there and then he scores 2 goals. Let's see who can say anything to him. But it's not just that it happens to journalists or fans like us, right? And, well, journalists in my case, but I consider myself a fan first. It also happens to a former footballer like Makaleli, who, look, let's start at the end. This is at the goal. This is at the goal. Footage from Dazen. He was commenting on the match, I insist, in Spanish. At the goal, as I mentioned before, and will explain now, look at what he says.
Mbappé, yes, now.
Now.
Olise.
No.
Kylian Mbappe's the ball in the box. The French player received it. The first time shot just like that into the net. France takes the lead. Kylian Mbappe's goal. He celebrates with the crowd. The first one falls at MetLife. France scores. Kylian Mbappe scores. Close.
Now I understood the play. I understood where it was going. Olise says it. The ball from the one who's there. He got there at the same time. That kid is impressive. It's wonderful.
Well, here he talks, look, he talks about Olise or Olise, that kid is impressive. By the way, in Makele, they call him Olise, right? Because there are some who call him Olise.
I understood where Olise says the ball he's with.
Well, the debate is over now. It's Olise, not Olise, man. They call him Olise, dude. It's Solis Olise. Makele is saying it. Okay, but wait, because this, I mean, all of this comes from something before, which is when he complains, but in a furious way.
Pelly, wait.
Wait, furiously about what Mbappe does in the game. Look, I mean, us Real Madrid fans aren't that far off. When we say that he's a guy who scores a lot of goals, really, I mean, that's one of the least of Madrid's problems because he scores goals, precisely, but it's still an issue. Sometimes his way of interpreting his role as a number 9, his way of playing collectively, etc. That's what Makelet says.
Mbappe waits, decides, sends it deep, and gets there.
Mamma mia, mamma mia. What do you want? Is it the ball that takes you inside? What do you want that boy to do? Mamma mia. Oh my God. Low, low, low. An amazing ball. Amazing. Even the defenders couldn't look at that. Yes, my God.
The ball for Senegal. Here goes Sar. He's challenged in the box, fighting with Theo Hernandez. It was a goal kick for Senegal. Very good play by France, but Kylian Mbappe couldn't take advantage of it.
The truth is that Olise is shaking up the match, receiving the ball inside, turning. These are high-level plays because he turns, changes the pace, and delivers a pass. While he's sprinting, he sends a ball forward that leaves Mbappe alone in front of Mendy, but Mbappe's control isn't good, Clot, and Mendy gets the ball.
No, he needs to understand. He needs to understand. He wants to go slow. He understands that this kid has the ability to make those kinds of passes. Focus, the last one, because now the only chance is Mbappe. You have it.
And there's another moment which I don't have here right now, where he says something like they want to get you inside the goal with the ball or something like that, says Maglelion. It was one of the main stories in Spain last night during the World Cup matches. Well, and Haaland scored 2 more with Norway, and today, as I said, Cristiano's under pressure. He just can't have an average performance in his match against Congo, which I think, well, it was a win for Portugal. Although, well, surprises can happen, just like they did with Spain. However, the big favorites, France, they responded, Argentina responded, let's see about Portugal, and Spain did not. Although I'll tell you again, this is about how it ends. I repeat, not how it starts. Although how it starts often gives you a clear sign of how things are going to go. If Spain doesn't perform well against Arabia, especially in terms of appearance, they could have a problem if they don't win. However, the recent draw between Arabia and Uruguay keeps the group standings even, as if nothing changed. But something has changed, especially if Spain plays poorly against Arabia this Sunday. All right, guys, that's it for now. Hey, please hype up the video. It really helps for this second wave of growth. After we've gone through a bit of a rough patch, we're growing again. Please like, subscribe, comment, share, and see you in the next video. Bye.